Hi, folks. Dr. Jim Gishwin here, retired intelligence analyst from the Pentagon and former Marine, Army Reserve Airborne, and U.S. Navy intelligence. Anyway, just coming from Barrancas National Cemetery, where I also paid tribute to my son, who's a former Marine, that I'm finally going to get buried up there. James J. Gishwin / Murdoch, Corporal USMC. I don't think he made sergeant before he got out. Anyway, Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not for us veterans. Okay? Appreciate you guys saying thank you for your service, things like that. But today is not for us guys that were in the rear with the gear, the beer, and the fear. Even though a lot of those that have died were in the rear of the gear, the beer, and the fear. And although all of our past ones are heroes to me, especially those that supported, because they were willing to take that extra step. They volunteered to do that. Just because they never had the opportunity to give their lives doesn't mean that the intentional sacrifice wasn't there. Anyway, it was a nice ceremony. None of our representatives were there. Saltzman and Modi. But Modi sent a letter, and the guy reading it apparently didn't graduate from the high school that I teach at, because he was really struggling through that letter. It's unfortunate that I have seniors and I have juniors that have trouble reading. We have to fix that, folks. That's our future, and we have to fix it. I'd like to sit there and say a small prayer for those that are in harm's way right now. Excuse me a second. I got a little bit of a cold. They introduced me at our graduation. My leader, Dr. Joanna, as a hero. And I got up there and I says, none of us veterans here that are alive today consider ourselves heroes. None of us do. I said, we're survivors. The real heroes are the ones we left behind. And that's who we're supposed to be honoring today. And I hope you take a minute during your picnics and your barbecues. It's raining like heck here, so there's not going to be a whole lot of those going on. I hope you take time just to ask the Lord, or whoever you believe in, to take care of those who have passed and who have dedicated their lives in service to this country. This country was founded on God. Everyone that escaped England and Europe and stuff like that came here to sit there and have freedom of religion. Okay, Maryland was Catholics. Puritans, the Quakers. Everyone established their little areas here based upon freedom of religion. They were being chased out and persecuted wherever they had come from. And we just have to remember that too. And I'd like you also to remember the spouses and families of those who have died. And as we go forward towards Veterans Day, please remember the spouses and families of those who are waiting patiently for their service members that are in harm's way. I'm not going to say too much about this supposed deal again. I hate that word. They're supposed to surrender, man, not make a deal. And of course, every deal they make, they want everything. It's like, and they even wanted us to pay them damages. Ridiculous. I don't know what this current one has, and I cringe every time they sit there and say, "Oh, we're close to a deal." No, you're not going to be able to deal with this regime at all. I think 75% of all the analysts sit there and say, "No, you make a deal with them, they're not going to honor it anyway." It's just going to be something kicked down the road, can kick down the road. You don't want that. There has to be regime change, okay? And the only way to do regime change is strangle their economy to death. Take Carg Island, take the islands in the Strait, take out all those missile batteries along the coast there in the Persian Gulf that they've reestablished after we knocked them out. We've given them so much time to rearm, folks. This is ridiculous. And they can rearm through land borders, too. All right? And, even while we were in the ceasefire, they were sitting there trying to get plutonium. These are mad people. These are crazy people. And you cannot sit down and have a discussion with them. It's just impossible. Mr. President, please, you know this to be a fact. Okay? I love you to death, man, and I praise you for the fact that you had to miss your son's wedding to sit there and work on peace deals, but quit calling it a deal. All right? I love the fact that you run the country like a business, but don't run international negotiations like a business either. Okay? Just keep it with running the United States like a business. You start dealing with these other people, you can't do it like that. All right? You have to understand that whether or not they're willing to do anything. They're not. And they don't care about their people, too. So you can threaten to sit there and bomb bridges and water supplies and everything else, and they don't care. All they care about is their power, as evidenced by the fact that they've killed 42,000 of their own people, mostly women and children, that were demonstrating, because those women did not want to be in burqas anymore. They wanted to drive. They wanted to have Western styles. Okay? Persians are not Arabs. Okay? And the Persians were more Western before 1979 than any other Middle Eastern country. That's it. That's just a fact. In fact, their religion was Zoroastrianism, primarily, before the Arabs came in and conquered them. Anyway, God bless you all. Please remember our fallen heroes, and please pray for those that are in harm's way. I ask this in God's name, and I praise you. I love you. God bless you all. God bless America. God bless Trump. And freedom forever. Remember, this is the 250th year. I did that study that I published as a historian, saying most great nations and great cultures, and I divided the Roman government up into the Republic and the Empire, only lasted around 300 years. And that includes all these little dynasties in Egypt and China, too. So we're at the tail end of it, and we have to keep it going. God bless you all. Remember, I love you, and I remain your very humble servant.